Hello and welcome to Reddit on Reddit, the internet's auditory version of Reddit. I'm Nelson Allingham, joined by Michael Campbell.
I am podcasting in the way that you prefer, which is
Totally naked.
Well, I wish, because I'm covered in dirt.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah. Well, you got naked and then you got covered
Oh,
in
yeah,
dirt.
got covered in
That's-
dirt.
Yeah. It's the best of both our preferences, really, of podcasting.
Yes. I've come straight off the work site, if you will.
Yeah.
Our front garden. And into the podcast room, just absolutely covered in grime.
Yep. It's
And I hope
makes for a good podcast.
I hope people can hear it in the tenor of my voice.
Yeah. You sound more manly.
Yeah.
That's-
Thanks, mate.
that's-
Thanks.
that's
Thanks.
Camber, I have a quick podcast request.
Request. Okay.
No.
No?
That's not the right one. I'd say recommendation.
I was going to ask if this is an ice cold recommendation. The thing that we like.
No, it's a red hot.
I'll allow it. But
Okay.
This is a slippery slope of having to be up with trends if you do this.
The podcast recommendation is, so long-time listeners of the show will know that we had Cousin Rowan.
Yeah.
I've never called him Rowan before. Cousin Rowan
Yeah.
write in to our AMA over 100 times,
Yeah.
I think. Frequent writer-innerer. And he recently shared with me that his son, who's only about 12, 13,
Yep.
I should maybe know his age. I don't know. But
Cousin's son is
a
forgivable.
younger lad,
Yeah.
yes, has started a podcast. It's called should have got this earlier.
This is a terrible plug.
Yeah. It's called the Superhero Podcast. Hold on, let me get it. Let me get to
For
it.
those listening,
Let me-
Nelson is frantically trying to unlock his phone right
The
now.
Superhero Fantasy Battle Podcast. Okay, he's released one episode.
Yeah.
I thought I'd get you to put the link in the description of this show.
Yeah.
Give it a listen. It's just Isaac is his name.
Yeah.
He talks about, the first episode is about Red Hulk versus Green Lantern. Who would win?
Oh.
He puts through some different, rates them on different things, like maybe their intelligence, or if they didn't have powers.
Yeah.
What's the...
I'll put the link in.
Yeah.
There's this glitch that's been going on through the service that we do. Sometimes when I put a link in,
Yeah.
it goes to cancel movie report. I'll see if I can sort that out.
All right. Yeah. So it'd be really nice. I think it'd really make Isaac's day, and we kind of owe it to Cousin Rowan
And
to.
I would say
if he got a few more listens.
if you want to sound on the cutting edge to your friends, especially because a lot of our friends are from America, that listen to this show. If you want to sound like you're on the cutting edge of niche,
Yeah.
be like, what do you listen to? Oh, it's just this Australian podcast by a 12-year-old about superheroes. You probably haven't heard of it. That sounds that's impressive.
Pretty impressive. Yeah.
I'd be like,
Say
God.
around 12, because again, I don't know.
If someone said that to me, I'm like, God, this person is plugged in.
Yeah.
Whoa.
They know what's going on. I'm going to come to this person for all my information from now on. Anyway, so that would be really nice if you just checked it out. Anywho, we should get into it though. This first Reddit on Reddit is by HortJube. It was in a weird subreddit, actually. It was in the subreddit Prepper Intel.
As in, like, preparing for doomsday? Prepper intel?
Intelligence reports from preppers around the world. Oh my God.
Have you stumbled into a conspiracy theory?
This is totally,
because
this has nothing to do with the subreddit.
well,
The post? Really?
yeah, okay, yeah.
I think. Maybe loosely.
Yeah, I would say loosely. I could see why people in this subreddit
Okay.
were interested in this.
Might be, yeah, okay. Anyway, I cannot believe, oh God, I hope this doesn't come up in my algorithm now. I'm going to get prepper intel. Anywho, but this is a hot topic at the moment on Reddit, which is also pretty rare, because normally we're really late to the party on this stuff. But anyway, here it is. Reddit is censoring upvotes, claiming to be supporting violent content. Here is the message I've gotten this morning after upvoting content discussing current economic implications surrounding tariffs. My account has never been flagged previously. Felt it useful to share this new level of censorship. I think it's important to know, I don't know, I can't see the post that this person upvoted. Anyway, so this is from Reddit. Your account has been given a warning. We've been alerted to activity on your account that is considered breaking Reddit's rules. We recently found that your HortJube account violated Rule 8 by repeatedly upvoting posts and or comments that break Reddit's rule against encouraging or glorifying violence or physical harm. While you didn't post the rule-breaking content, upvoting content that breaks the rules is also considered a violation. As a result, we're issuing this warning and asking you to be thoughtful about any future content you upvote. Continued violations could result in a temporary or permanent ban. Please familiarize yourself with Reddit's rules to make sure you understand the rules for participating on Reddit. This is an automated message, blah, blah, blah.
I'm just looking at their profile because I find it interesting whenever people don't show what.
And they've said, I upvoted content discussing current economic implications surrounding tariffs. But the Reddit account has said you've upvoted something that's encouraging or glorifying violence or physical harm. Those two things don't match up. So I suggest that probably this person is perhaps hiding a little bit of what they've upvoted.
Yeah, and like there's every possibility that what they're upvoting is sarcastic or something like that. Like, you know, I'm sure automated bots probably do not differentiate. I know that's a big thing on TikTok as well. In fact, one time we uploaded a clip from Cancer Movie Report on TikTok and we said a movie bombed.
Oh, right,
And it got flagged.
Yeah.
Because it has the word bomb in it. No, it doesn't matter about context or whatever. It's just bad word.
Yeah,
so
right.
I'm giving the benefit of the doubt here to say, like, someone was probably like, oh, geez, wouldn't mind if someone was assassinated. And he's like, ha, funny.
Yeah. Haha, funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could have been something like that, definitely. I have done this before. I like to play devil's advocate.
Yeah.
Because I would say a lot of people, like I said, hot topic, a lot of people seem to be against this. And I like to play devil's advocate on this stuff because, sometimes I think people don't look at the whole sometimes, and they see this just as censorship, regardless of what it stands for. Right?
I found a potential comment, by the way.
Okay, cool.
Which
Cambo's done some heavy investigating.
Again, to be clear, is a joke, but I can imagine it being flagged.
Okay.
It's on the Duolingo subreddit.
Okay, yeah.
And this guy's hit this big streak, and someone said, "Oh, Duo, the bird, is watching you," and then he's commented, "From the grave." Because Duolingo, I don't know if you know this, announced a while ago that their bird died.
Right.
Their mascot
that's so sad.
got hit by a Cybertruck and died. But that's a joke saying, oh, watching you from the grave. But I'm sure that just having the word from the grave as a comment could potentially flag.
But this is what he's upvoted, not what he's commented.
Oh,
that's
true.
the thing. It's about upvoting.
Yeah, that's true. Upvoting.
So, yeah. Which actually, I don't think you can see what people have upvoted. Can you on their profile?
I don't think so, no. At least I'm on here now. I'm pretty deep, but I'm not seeing it.
You're going to get flagged just for looking at this guy's account who's upvoted something. Anyway, okay. So let's talk about the idea of Reddit having rules and censorship in general, right?
Yeah.
That to me is so incredibly important. And in fact, so funny because I saw a comic on Reddit. I wish I had saved it because it's so relevant to this, but I think people see them as separate, right? It was a bar. It was a comic book with 4 strips. Yeah. First one was a guy saying, we're not a Nazi bar, but we just didn't ban Nazis. So then Nazis kept showing up to our bar, and then anyone who wasn't a Nazi just stopped coming.
Yeah. Right.
And then the last frame is a picture of the bar, and it's X, formerly known as Twitter. And that is exactly why you need to have censorship. That's kind of the point, is like you need to prevent hate speech and other alternative things, like this says, encouraging or glorifying violence or physical harm. You need a sense of that. Yeah. The idea that, oh, we should have freedom of speech on everything is wrong. Something particularly like Nazis is, I think it might have even been Ricky Gervais maybe did a sketch or something about this where he said, we shouldn't allow people to voice those opinions. He's like, it's a cancer and it should be cut out. You don't just ignore it. It should be violently attacked back, And I agree with that. And the idea of, okay, what is a Nazi coming and what not, what isn't, or something. That sure, at a certain point, anything, not even Nazi related, or whatever. There can be gray lines, a little bit hard to tell. But there's some stuff that's definitely like, yeah, I wish somebody was murdered or whatever, like just actual hate speech or whatever. That's pretty clear cut. So the first point of should these things exist, I think is correct and true. They should be allowed. These rules need to be in place. The other thing is then you go on to, okay, how about people just upvoting it? And sure, there can be things like, well, somebody might interpret something as sarcasm and they've upvoted it for that reason because they thought it was sarcasm even if it wasn't. But like, should they be punished? And I think the thing is, it's actually not about the punishment of the upvoter. This is not, Reddit doesn't want to like prevent people from using their platform in this way or be scared to upvote stuff. But the thing is, it is incredibly hard. You cannot 100% police Reddit for all the posts that are breaking your terms of service, right? Like, impossible to do so. So what they've done, what they've created, I actually think this is a really smart system. They've said, we're actually going to let our users inadvertently police posts, because next time you see something that is encouraging or glorifying violence or physical harm, you'll be like, I might not upvote that. Because I might get
downvote it.
I might get or downvote it, right? Because then, based on the way that Reddit works, is that post won't see the light of day. It'll remain at the bottom. It will, no one will see that in future. I think it's actually a really smart way to kind of expand your reach of patrolling content that is against your terms of service. It's just a really smart. I think people are taking it too personally. The fact is, it's purposefully a warning. It's just saying, hey, be on the lookout for this content in future because you might get in trouble. And I'm betting it's a few warnings before, okay, you're actually trying to, encourage the stuff that we're trying to discourage from our platform. So I think people are taking it too personally. I think it's a really genius move for Reddit to use their entire user base to kind of drain out those posts that they don't want. And yes, like I said, there's a gray area. Like you mentioned, what if it's just sarcasm? Somebody's not really meaning it that way. Yeah, that's probably going to happen as a side effect a little bit, but
a lot of people like to joke about Luigi Mangione at the moment.
Yeah, right.
But doing so,
you
are technically encouraging violent acts, and
Yeah.
whether or not you agree with the point he was trying to make, or murder, whatever, you can't have one without the other.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. There's definitely always going to be gray area involved, and I think they're kind of. Reddit's kind of aware of that at the same time as well, I reckon, Anyway.
The good thing out of all of this is that we now know of the existence of prepper intel. So when we're prepping, we know where to go.
Okay, Kembo, this is what I'm going to do. This is a live search. This is what I like to do when I find a new interesting subreddit. Top of all time. Yeah, here we go,
Top
guys.
post of all time on Prepper Intel, Nelson. What do we got?
Breaking. This is 1 month ago. Breaking. Los Angeles police dressed in riot gear are in a standoff as thousands of protesters march against ICE deportations.
I was wanting more like this kind of bean lasts longer than this kind of bean when stored in a sub-basement bunker.
No, this is definitely more about people
Rising up?
kind of rising up a little bit, like a doomsday kind of, the world's going to hell.
I do love a niche subreddit that I stumble upon. Sometimes Reddit recommends them to me, and I'm like, you know what? Well done. There's been one I've been on recently. It just keeps getting recommended to me. I haven't subscribed to it, but it's called Fridge Detectives. And someone will just take a photo of their fridge and be like, what can you tell about me from my fridge? And I do love reading through the comments. Where people are like, oh, you're in your 20s. And you're like, yeah. A lot of like energy drink and stuff in there.
We did that once. Do you remember us taking the...
Yeah. So should we ever do an update?
Now we've got partners.
No context.
That was on Facebook. We don't ever use that anymore.
No. In fact, you disabled your Facebook. And therefore...
Did I?
I'm assuming because
I don't know.
our Reddit take was attached to your Facebook.
Oh.
So it's no longer on Facebook.
Is it really?
Yeah. We're just not on Facebook anymore.
I still have a Facebook. Because when
our
go
page
to
isn't there
Facebook-
anymore.
Oh.
I actually went to look
wild.
for a video not long ago. Because I was like, I think we posted it straight to Facebook. And I searched and we didn't come up. Either that or we're being suppressed by the man.
Oh, come on, guys. We're breaking Facebook's terms of service. They say one of their terms of service is no terrible content.
That is not true.
Yeah. As judged by Mark Zuckerberg. Okay, let's get into Ask Reddit. Ask Reddit. This Ask Reddit is cross-posted to us by Gone Fish Caking, but it was originally by Disgruntled Veteran. You're bedridden for 72 hours. What show are you binge watching?
It'd have to be a comfort show.
It's tricky, yeah. Do you know what I've been binge watching lately is House.
Yeah.
House MD.
Yeah.
Which is a great show. But I think if I'm sick...
Well, no, because you'd know what's wrong with you by the end of it.
Honestly, Cambo, I think I'm so much more intelligent after I watch a few episodes of House. Mm-hmm. Even just small things. Like... They're talking about a patient. They don't know what's wrong. Blah, 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 blah. And then they're like, oh, they've just spiked a fever. And I'm like, oh, infection. And they go, oh, right. So it must be an infection. I was like, I got it. I'm a bloody genius. I could doctor.
You could be one of those young doctors that kind of like walks around with, I've only seen bits of it. Seem to walk around. You know, like how there's like little fish that follow like a whale and eat their like,
They're
like those.
mackerel or something. I don't know.
You could be one of those guys. You could be the Australian one. There's an Australian one.
There's an Australian dude. Yeah, he's pretty handsome. Do you know, surprisingly, just slightly off topic, but for any House fans, I think his name in the show is Chase. Mm-hmm. I think it's one of the unique cases where the House starts off really well, as most American television shows do, and then it kind of like wanes a little bit. Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's 6
to 7 seasons.
Yeah. Like it's sometimes, and sometimes there's episodes in between where you're like, oh, that was an awesome episode, but maybe that season is great. Whatever. It's not always terrible, but it started well. But I think they did a really poor job of his character. Like he was the least interesting. He just sucked. You never liked him. And then when the seasons arguably get to their worst point, I think they really improve his character a lot. Like they just make him far more interesting. Because he ends up like marrying the Cameron, who's one of the other doctors on the show, and then they split up. And after they split up, I think they were like, right, we've got to reinvent his character from now on. And he just becomes far more interesting. He's like kind of this ladies' man, but sleeping with people isn't isn't satisfying for him. He has a bit more of a backbone to himself. Like it was just a really interesting.
Does he wear that hat with all the corks dangling down like a proper Australian?
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. Good.
And he's always eating shrimp off the barbie.
Here's my problem with this Ask Reddit. Is I have determined over the last few years, the popularity of Netflix, in fact, instilled this into me. Mm-hmm. I'm not a binger. What I need is several things to go between.
Yeah.
I need to watch an episode or two of something, read a bit of something, play a bit of something.
Yeah.
And that like I couldn't binge watch.
Yeah.
Like,
which is crazy because I would say you watch so much more TV than me. Oh, wait. Would you? No, maybe you don't. Maybe it is the binge watching thing where I just watch a lot more. And because you obviously know like way more stuff. Like you have watched more newer stuff than I have. But maybe that is just because I watch the same stuff over again.
Possibly.
Binge watching one show for a lot of
Every
time.
night we watch like an episode of something and then maybe like a shorter episode of something. And then that's it. Whereas I know there are people that like they'll watch an entire season of something in a day.
Yeah.
I never do that. At most I'll watch like one episode a day, maybe two at a stretch.
How about if you're bedridden though, Kimber?
Yeah. Well, look, that's my best chance to. But I just think my brain after about 2 hours will be like, okay, something else now.
Yeah, okay.
Like so it'll be on, but I won't be watching it. I think also the difference is I am aware that some people will like half watch stuff.
Yeah.
So like they'll be doing whatever and they'll be on the background. And I can do that, but not with new stuff. If it's something new I'm trying to watch for the first time, I really do like to concentrate on it, but I know that some people do the second screens and stuff like that. So I would need to put something on I've seen a lot and I'll be doing other stuff.
Yeah.
That's how I would binge watch for that long.
I know what I absolutely couldn't do, which is I think a lot of people's go-to, especially being bedridden. Because you're right, you kind of want that's something that you've watched before a lot of, or I think is just sort of inconsequential. Yep. And I think the inconsequential stuff is reality TV. I could not do that. There is no way. Like, I think probably Ellen would do that. She got into the, like, Alone series, which, like, I've watched a few episodes with her, and some of them are, like, really fascinating. I just wish those shows, they didn't purposefully cast the people that they know are going to suck. Like, I hate that part about it. And you're like, you know it's very purposeful because a show with just really good people at living in the wilderness by themselves, I think wouldn't bring as good ratings as having a few duds in there where people are like, oh my God, I could last longer than that. That's what you want the audience to say.
I never really watched Survivor until our friend was on it. But I did understand when you saw certain people like, oh, that guy's going to get eaten alive out there. And that's what they want. Yeah,
exactly.
They want that nice spread. If you had to pick a reality TV show, your only choice was, is there one you think you could?
Obviously the Kardashians.
Well, what about something like The Amazing Race?
No. I need to find the reality show that's the least cringeworthy.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. No, do you know what I've heard actually is Terrace House? Is that what it's called or something like that? There's a Japanese
right. Is it like
I've
a slice of life? You're just watching them kind of live their life kind of thing?
Yeah, basically. Yeah. And I've heard that the Japanese versions are nice because they're just so polite. Like there's very little drama in what's going on.
Yeah, Japanese reality TV show.
Terrace House, that's right. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you are.
I've never watched it before, but that might be something I get into. Actually, the other thing is Koreans have really interesting reality TV shows or like game shows. They had one that was people who were living together and they had to do non-death-like Squid Game games.
Yeah.
And then they would get eliminated, like sometimes voted out or whatever. But it was mainly like whoever failed the task got removed and ended up coming down to one winner. And I found that really interesting and fascinating, just the way they did it. It was a lot of fun. And it is way like everybody in that competition was intelligent. And so it was more interesting to be like, with all these intelligent people, who's going to come out on top and play the social game as well? It was more interesting.
I'm going to pitch a TV show that you and I will create.
Ooh.
It's called Competency Porn.
Okay.
And every week we go, this guy's the best in the world at tiling. And then we just watch him do like tiling.
Tiling. Okay,
and then you just watch him do an absolutely awesome job at tiling. You're like, that was so good. And then next week, it's like whatever people are interested in, we'll go find out whoever does it the best, and we'll watch it.
Cambo, I'd watch the shit out of that show.
like someone's like, oh, this is the best guy at the world at framing pictures.
Yeah,
like, well,
yeah.
how much is there to that? And then you watch it, you're like, oh, that's very impressive.
And he goes through the detail.
That was such
of,
an
like,
oddly shaped poster that they brought in that he custom made that frame for.
I mean, this just becomes like mini documentaries, really, is what it is.
Yeah.
I think to make the reality TV show element to it is you have somebody who's never tiled in their life next to the professional tiler, right? Just so you get a bit of a comparison sort of thing.
What? Okay, could we
And
like...
then you have blind judges at the end that come back and they're like, oh, these tiles don't line up correctly.
Let's borrow the format from Iron Chef, where someone comes and goes, I reckon I'm pretty good at tiling. They go, oh, are you? How about you verse the best tiler in the world?
I like that. Do you know what would be also more fascinating? Maybe this is like the after show special. You have to pay a little bit extra subscription. Yeah. is we go through the process of working out who the best tiler is in the world. Because that in itself is like, how do you decide? There's no tiling competitions. You just go to a few places in the world like, those tiles are pretty good. Who did that? Anywho. Did we answer the question? Not really.
You said maybe House.
Maybe House.
So House is
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
House is your
one.
comfort show.
Maybe Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Yeah, I would want... I do love British comedy, but it's too short.
Yeah.
Like, you could maybe get through like a Peep Show's 9 seasons. That's probably one of the longer ones.
Yeah.
Even then, 6 episodes, obviously, per season.
Yeah,
So even then, you're like 40 episodes.
I mean, I'm still thinking about not so much as length, just like the comfort show. That,
yeah. But if it's that long and I think it's going to continuously be on, maybe I'd watch old The Simpsons.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. Because you know what I was thinking is Peep Show to me, even though it's comedy, it still requires... It's like the British humor requires more attention or like, you know, there's more nuance to
For me,
jokes.
I've seen it so many times that I reckon I could look away from the screen and still kind of know what's going on.
Yeah.
I picked it for the reason of like, oh, I just know it so well.
Yeah.
That if it was on, you know.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, because I was thinking Brooklyn Nine-Nine because I'm like, it's stupid comedy. Where like I don't have to think too hard about the jokes.
Maybe that's why you need a sitcom, in fact, with a laugh track. Because then it will just kind of nudge you and be like, laugh.
Friends.
Yeah.
Nah. All right, Cambo, let's move on into Today I Advise.
So now it's time for Today I Learned. What's the intro to that?
Today I Learned.
And also sometimes advice.
This Today I Learned is by Tyrion 2024. Today I learned UK teenager Olivia Farnsworth has a rare condition known as chromosome 6 deletion, which causes her to not feel hunger, pain, or a sense of danger. She is the only known person in the world who possesses all 3 of these symptoms together.
Wow. That must be so dangerous.
Yeah, it's I learned this from House.
The accidental starvation.
Yeah, can you imagine starving to death by accident? That's wild.
Yeah, and like, because then you'd be like, normally if you're hungry, your body kicks in and goes, careful.
Yeah,
but that wouldn't happen either.
Yeah,
no sense of danger about starving to death.
There's also that thing. I imagine then she doesn't know when she's full.
Yeah, like a dog.
Maybe.
You know how some dogs just don't, like Labradors, I think are big for this. They just can't tell when they're full.
No, they can tell, Cameron. They just keep going. I like that. That to me is really interesting because there's also things, right, where I sort of believe in that idea of sort of listening to your body sometimes. If you crave something, it might be because your body's missing some of that. Obviously, there's,
nicotine.
If you're like,
example.
Nicotine or like even just sugar and salt, it's like, your body might crave it. You don't necessarily. It's just likes those things. But I think sometimes there's, like I always think if I crave fruit, I'm like, I feel like I need.
Yeah, there's certain
my
vitamins.
body's like, hey, get some of that good shit into you. Anyway, But she obviously might not even be able to experience that. The pain thing is super dangerous too. So, again, because I learned this from House, this girl talks about she has to do checks in the mirror every morning to make sure that she hasn't scratched her cornea in her eye, or checks her gums, I think, as well, to make sure they're not bleeding in case she's like bitten her tongue or lip or something. You know, just stuff that like
she doesn't feel pain.
Yeah, because she doesn't feel pain. So obviously, if we were to accidentally even start biting our lip or something, even even asleep, we would know to stop doing that. But if she can't feel the pain, then she might just continue to bite until it causes damage. Same with scratching your eye or something like that. And I do know, I have heard of real cases as well where it's like, it's just so dangerous to not feel pain, because you don't know when you've broken an arm, when when you're too cold or something, like you could be experiencing hypothermia or whatever, like there's just, there's reasons why humans should feel pain.
Yeah.
It's a protective measure.
The sense of danger is wild as well.
That's so cool. That to me is really amazing, that you can lack this sense of
sense, yeah.
Yeah. Because I feel like you would just do the most wild shit in your life if you should not be afraid of anything. I mean, I guess it could be, that's obviously dangerous in itself, because then you're like, watch me jump from this building without a parachute.
You could take Olivia to any horror movie you want, and you get all the popcorn.
Yeah, that's good. Definitely not scared. Yeah, this is good.
Yeah, like we're gonna watch the most fucked horror movie, and I'm gonna get the biggest popcorn.
Yeah. She would think you're the biggest baby in the world. You're in tears watching this horror film. She's like, what? What are you talking about? Sure, that guy just murdered his whole family and everybody in the town.
I'm like, Olivia, you're sitting on the spike seat. Careful.
That one spike seat that they have in every theater. What do you think you would do, Canberra, if you had no sense of pain or danger?
How do you monetize this? What's something you could do that is painful but not impactful, but people would pay to see you do?
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Like nail through the hand or something.
Oh, yeah, that is pretty good. But it needs to be something that's probably less...
Yeah, you want it to be able to heal within a day or two.
Yeah, something like that. I'm trying to think of the sickos who would pay lots of money to break somebody's leg or something.
Maybe if you need like a big chunk of money once a year, you let one of the sickos in, they break your leg.
There's some billionaires out there that I'm sure would... Actually, isn't this in The Boys?
Break a leg would be nothing to what I'm sure billionaires would want to pay you to do. It'd be like, take the leg.
Yeah, okay, that's too much. You can't take the leg. Yeah, that's in The Boys, isn't it? Isn't there some dude that regenerates? And people
that's right.
Kill him?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be really interesting. Yeah, I guess that's how I'd monetize it. What's like even just a regular job? I suppose you could be in like the Air Force or something. But again, the problem is, like I said, you need to sometimes experience pain to know when you're not going to... Because you could maybe like all of a sudden pass out or something if you're in a jet fighter pilot, a plane that you don't feel as though you're going to pass out, but your body probably still would react in that way, I imagine. And then
it's funny because I guess like if she doesn't get hungry, but she'd still get tired from lack of energy, I suppose.
Oh yeah, I suppose so.
So you'd be able to tell like, oh, I'm feeling really drowsy now. I probably need to eat because I'm really low on energy.
This is so weird. If you're Olivia, come on our show.
Yeah, don't be scared.
Don't be scared, guys. Don't be scared. All right. let's move on and get into shower thoughts.
Shower thoughts, 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 shower thoughts, 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 shower thoughts, 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 shower thoughts, thoughts, thoughts.
This shower thought was cross-posted to us by Cynic728, but it was originally by Foreigner27. Unless you get clothes tailored, people in the Middle Ages had clothes that fit better than we do today, I think.
Yeah.
I like that they've put I think at the end.
Yeah. I would say, I don't know what they're picturing middle-age clothing to be. I don't reckon it will have been bespoke made.
Yeah.
It will have been like, yeah, this will fit.
Hey, here's this potato sack.
Yeah,
I've
tie
cut
this
a hole in it.
Tie this off with some rope around your waist if you want, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like the idea that it's like, oh man, those pants, you've tapered them really well down to the leg opening. Yeah, that's really good. The inseam's perfect.
I do like the idea that that's what it seems like might have happened, because we were like, well, we invented clothes and we must have just then fitted them to people. But I would say no, it's just there was like these pants, they may or may not fit you. But you're going to put them on anyway because that's all you got.
Do you know what this has the markers of to me? Is a shower thought that was posted a few times and iterated. I reckon they're like, clothes in the middle age probably fit better because none of my clothes fit me right. And someone's been like, get them tailored. You meant to get your clothes tailored. It's like, oh, okay. Well, okay, unless you get it tailored, then and people are like, well, actually, in the Middle Ages, and okay, look, unless you get them tailored, they probably fit better, I think.
Right.
All right?
Okay. Yeah, just lots of iterations on that, yeah.
Because, like, to me, I quite like clothing. Mm-hmm. But I know enough about it to know that you also need to know your proportions. Mm-hmm. And now that I know my proportions better, I get clothes that fit me. And I know that certain brands just don't.
Right.
There are brands that I like and they just don't really fit me. Mm-hmm. But I know there's brands that do. They fit my proportions. I know what my sizes I am. So I don't have to do much for my clothes to fit me anymore.
Yeah.
I know the inseam of my leg and I know that it's a little bit shorter than standard.
Oh.
So when I'm buying pants, I will check if they do an inseam measurement or not because then I know I need to get it tailored.
Wild.
Yeah.
I would never think to do that. These seem okay. I'll buy them.
Standard inseam for a man, Nelson 32. I'm a 30.
Oh my God, that's so wild.
It's wild. But I can tell the difference if I'm buying whether or not it mentions it in the measurements. Like, okay, this at least will fit.
But then won't it be something about the proportions regardless would have to be off? Like, do they have an inseam of 30 and you're like, this is for me, but then it just means that the waist is too small anyway or something like that.
The difference between, like, you're probably what, like a 32 waist, I'd assume?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So the difference between a pant saying, hey, this is a 32 and a pant saying, hey, this is a 32-30.
Yeah.
32-30 is 32 waist, 30 inch inseam.
Yeah. But what I mean is like most clothes are tailored for the average person. And in fact, the more niche they go, like usually they don't because they're like...
It's the inverse. Big stores only cater for average people. Smaller brands will have way more sizing. So if you go to like a proper store that sells jeans compared to like Uniqlo or Target or wherever, that jean store will have your waist and inseam in all different measurements. Whereas if you buy it from a department store, they won't.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, my point is, knowing your proportions will help you have your clothes fit rather than having to live in the Middle Ages.
One thing you learned today is that you're stupid because you don't know your inseam.
Know your waist and your inseam, know your chest and your sleeves.
Yep.
That's all you need.
That's all you need, guys.
Don't know your cousin's kid's age.
Don't need to know that.
Don't need to know that. You can guess roughly 12, we're assuming. I
actually reckon a little. Let's say 13.
Okay.
This one is by Arc88. Bath bombs don't really explode in water. They're more like bath incendiaries.
That's true. Yeah, they just kind of fizzle out. Is there a market that we can make the Oppenheimer bath bomb?
I was going to say, Kevin,
you put it in?
Opportunity.
And like, first of all, like, do not put this in a bath. We cannot stress that enough. It's like a Mentos into a Diet Coke. This thing will explode.
We do sell them at Bed Bath & Beyond type places, but we say on the instructions, don't, unless you want a bath bomb. It's underlined.
We are
Don't
the
put
only
this
ones
in
on
a
the
bar.
market not fucking around here. This thing will go crazy.
Yeah.
How much reverse psychology marketing do you think we could do to drive people to be like, well, how big is it?
Yeah.
They really don't want us to put this in a bar.
Yeah.
It can't be that bad, right?
Yeah, I'll buy one just to see. Yeah. This is good. This is good. On the inside, there's just a small bit of TNT. All right, Cambo. Let's move on and get into podnapping.
Oh my God, I'm being podnapped.
Podnapping.
This is podnapping, where we nap a pod. We take a topic of conversation or a segment from another thing, and we do it ourselves.
We both agree we think it's my week.
We have, yes. We don't know.
we don't know for sure, but we're pretty sure it's my week.
Yeah.
Nelson, would you consider yourself a historian?
Yep.
Good.
Oh no,
That's really
I should've
important
said
for this one.
I was hoping that would throw you off.
What I have done is I was curious, actually just based on a conversation one time I had with Stacey where she had guessed a year and I was like, oh, that's way off.
Oh yeah,
So-
I'm terrible at this. By the
Nelson,
way, yeah.
I have picked a bunch of huge world events.
Cambo, I literally did this to you like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, this is a, I think I've done something similar to this as well, by the way.
Okay.
But all I want to know is huge world event within your lifetime.
Oh, okay, that's good.
I just want to know the year that it happened.
Okay, yeah, no worries.
I will give bonus points except for one if you can give me the date.
Okay.
Do you think how do you reckon you'll do with this? It's a mixture of big world events and like some like bigger pop culture moments.
I'm just so terrible with years. Like unbelievably terrible. You have no idea.
I'm going to start you off easy, okay?
Wait, can I tell you, because I've had this theory, right? The people that are good at trivia, which you are, I would say, have a better understanding of like times things happened, because you relate kind of your trivia knowledge sometimes to the year and like other things that happened in that year. But I'm terrible at trivia, and I think
And
it's because
you don't
I'm
know
terrible.
the inseam of your pants.
And I don't know the inseam of my pants or my cousin's son's
Nelson,
age.
I reckon you're about a 30.
Yeah.
We're similar height.
Yeah, probably.
I'm going to start you off easy. September 11.
Okay. Is this one that I don't get the bonus point for the...
Yes, if
Okay.
you pick the date of this one, you do not get a bonus
Okay.
point.
Obviously...
What year was September 11?
2001?
It was 2000.
Okay. Phew. That one seems like a big one to, like if I hadn't have got that right, then I'm really screwed.
This one I had to check
Yeah.
to make sure it fit within my requirements.
Okay.
The fall of the Berlin Wall.
Oh, right. This is about... I think this happened in... Oh, no. Something tells me... Originally, I was going to say my birth year, 89. But actually, I think it was like 90-something. No, let's go with my first instinct. I'm going to say 89.
Correct. You would have been less than 1 month old.
Oh, okay. That's
When I
good.
saw it, I was like, did this happen within his lifetime?
Yeah.
Oh, it happened in November 89.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Some people say I took down the Berlin Wall.
The discovery of the novel coronavirus.
Discovery.
Specifically SARS-CoV-2, which is the coronavirus that we know.
Right, yeah, because coronavirus itself, there's many.
Coronavirus is a style of virus.
Yeah, yeah.
And
But
this
we're
is-
saying COVID-19, right? Technically, right. All right. So I feel like the trick answer is 2020. It was definitely at least 2019. But was it as early as 2018? That's the real kicker.
I would tell you to consider what it's called.
Coronavirus.
Or
COVID-19. No, because I thought that was just the ID that they... Okay, but you're... All right. All right.
It was
fine,
2019.
2019.
Yeah, it was discovered in December. It is technically, the 19 was because its name is like what kind of virus, where, and when. So COVID-19 is the abbreviation.
Is it really the date? That blows my mind. I assumed they were like, this is the 19th iteration of this type of. Oh, wow.
According to ChatGPT.
No, it's probably right.
The death of Princess Diana.
Okay.
Where was the young Nelson when Princess Diana died? Paris, I think. Interesting.
Do you remember me telling you a few weeks ago how I was crying because people were giving Prince Charles
a hard time,
kind of like blaming him
Yeah.
at the time? So I know that I was primary school age,
Yep.
obviously.
Yep.
But like, how old was I? I reckon I was about either 5 or 6. So let's say then, what's that? 90. Let's go 94.
1997.
97.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I accept that.
Yeah, you thought about it, was like, yeah, it's possible. I don't know why I was about to fight that.
Why would I?
It's not even possible. It's the fact.
It's the fact.
The release of the first iPhone.
2008.
Oh, you're so close. It's
Oh,
2007.
7? I always get confused between 2007 or 2008. Damn it.
Nelson Mandela becomes South Africa's first black president.
Uh, 91.
94.
That was close.
I mean, in all recorded history, yeah.
Yeah.
It's only a couple of years out.
Yeah.
What about...
Do you know how why I put a year to that? Because I had no idea, obviously. I was like, don't remember this growing up.
Yeah, so you would have been young.
So I must have been a couple of years old.
You would have been 6.
Yeah.
The death of Michael Jackson.
Oh, man. What's crazy is, to me, it still feels sort of recent, but I know it happened a very long time ago.
What do you consider recent? In all recorded history? Yes. Again, if you're looking at it from that lens, yeah, really recent.
Yeah. Okay, here's what I know, though. Our friend, Darren.
Yeah. Big Michael Jackson fan.
Big Michael Jackson man. Was in tears when he died.
Yeah. And when did you know Darren?
Worked with him at the cinema.
Yeah.
When did I work at the cinema? Okay, I finished school 2000.
Sorry, the listener couldn't see you do that.
They get it. In 2008, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. That's when you probably finished school.
Do you know what? Sorry, I've just realized that's why I should remember that the iPhone came out in 2007. Because I feel like it was.
This is what the
before
trivia
I
people
finished
do.
it. Yeah, that's what they do. Oh my god. Okay. Anyway, so I finished in 2008, but I didn't get a job at the cinemas until after that.
I will tell
Maybe
you,
2000.
I started at the cinema in 2008.
No way.
End of 2008.
What?
Wait, no, sorry, early 2009. Yeah, it's a year after I graduated. Yeah. Early 2009, I got my job.
Oh, did I finish in 2007? What the F? I'm so confused. Maybe
I
I
think you
did.
finished like 2005, mate.
Maybe I did finish in 2005. Stupid years and what they mean. Okay, if you started in 2009. Oh, that's thrown off my whole thinking.
What was your vibe?
I would have thought. Did Darren start with you actually?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, how well did I know Darren? Somewhat well-ish. I'm gonna say 2010.
9.
Oh!
2009, June 25th, 2009.
It was gonna be 9 or 10.
What year was the start of the global financial crisis? This will be harder for you to remember because in Australia we were actually fairly well.
Yeah, we did a
Projected.
lot better.
Yeah. In fact, that was a great time for us to travel to America because I think at that time, didn't our dollar overtake the American dollar for a very short period?
Might have.
Or at least it was like very comparable to which we were like living like kings. I remember I knew two like families that were like, "Oh, we're going to America for our
Right,
next holiday because it will now be way cheaper."
Yeah. And America was like, please come. And
Yeah.
visit
Oh, yeah.
us.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like, it
They
was,
couldn't wait for us to come spend our money.
yeah. I want to say like 2012.
2008.
Oh, okay.
2008. Here's one to bring you down.
Yep.
What year was the Columbine High School massacre?
Oh, God. Well, there was the Bowling for Columbine movie.
Documentary, yeah. Which you
That
you think that would be after.
You'd think so.
Unless he's like, you're never going to believe
Be
what's going to
wild
happen.
if he knew. Okay, so that...
In a year's time, in this place.
I'm wondering then if that was like late 90s, early 2000s, late 90s, let's say.
Yeah.
I'd
I'd agree with that.
98.
99.
Oh, come on.
It's so
like
late
a year
90s.
off.
It's so late 90s.
Yeah.
You're pretty good at vibing like roundabout.
Roundabout. Yeah.
What about the death of Osama bin Laden?
Oh, okay. Oh, God. It was pretty late.
I can
after,
give you a hint.
Yeah.
This will only actually narrow it down to an 8-year window.
Okay.
But the person that made the announcement was Barack Obama.
Okay. I don't really remember. Let's say 2000. Oh, for some reason, I feel like it's later than this. But I'm going to say 2000 or maybe it was earlier. I'm going to say 2010.
11.
Oh, for God's sake!
Next instinct.
Why am I always...
Chuck on a year.
Chuck on a year.
When was the Brexit referendum? There's 2 more left, by the way.
Okay. That was... Do you know what's so crazy is I can't even comprehend if that was before or after COVID. I feel like it was after COVID. Yeah. Let's say 20... Oh, okay. Now, I want to say 2022, so I'm going to say 2023.
So it was 2016.
Was it? No way.
It's the same year as Trump got
Whoa,
in. That was like a
I'm
big...
way off
That was
there.
a big political year.
Isn't that so crazy that I was so far off
9
then?
years ago.
Yeah, what? Okay, yeah,
'Cause
actually,
think
no,
of it
was
this way.
very stupid. that I
Since
said,
COVID, it's been half a decade. Like that's how much time is warping.
yeah, COVID really threw things off.
Yeah.
a lot. I feel like that probably late teens, early 20s really throws off my I don't know what happened between this period because anything is. Wow, 2016. Okay,
2016.
that's my
Here is your last one. Extra points if you can get the date.
yeah.
The launch of the Reddit on Reddit podcast. When did that happen?
Okay.
You should know a little more about the history of this one.
Yep. So we've been going.
How long does it vibe we've been going for?
We're on episode 441.
41?
Okay, let's say this is how I like to think about it. If I think about if we think about episode 520 will be exactly 10 years, right?
I think so, yeah.
52.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Sorry, I had to.
I know, it's just one of those maths things where you're like...
In the right date, yes.
In the right. Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay, so we're still not that far off, really. So we must be 9 years or something. How many? No. No. We'd be 8 years and something, right? Yeah.
Nelson.
Yeah.
What's your rule? What's your rule?
At a year? Not 10 years.
No.
We're 9. We're in 9.
So that would make it when?
What's he at? Okay, so we're in 2025 now. Oh, so I actually reckon it was 20. I actually think it was 2014. was it? Because we added a. Oh no! Wait, no, 2016. Then is that right? Because we'd been 9 years.
Yeah.
now.
Coming.
But
up,
I
coming
think
up
we
to-
started late. Like we started
Well,
October.
this is going to be my next question: is can you give me a date that you think we started? So you're confident with 2016?
So let's say 2016. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
And you
2016.
reckon October?
I reckon October. Do I reckon October? Or November? Or September? October. Oh, but then okay, this is why, because our birthdays are in October.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's actually unlikely that we did it in October, because I feel like we would have spoken about it unless it was late October or early November.
What are you going to lock in? I'm going to get you to lock in something.
Can I go for month first?
Yeah. Well, let's start with year. You locking in 2016?
9 years. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay, good.
2016. Month. Are you locking in October?
Yep.
Correct.
Oh my God, okay.
What date in October did we start the Read on Reddit podcast?
Okay, I'm going to guess then that it was after both our birthdays. I'd like to narrow it down again. Is it in the 20s?
No.
Okay, then I have another guess. Is the first?
No.
Okay, I don't know.
The 17th.
It was after
It was after our birthdays, but not much.
Yeah.
Yours was only just would have occurred.
I said, Cambo, all I want for my birthday is for us to start a podcast.
It goes for at least 9 years.
Yeah.
After 9 years, we can have a discussion about whether or not it's worth it.
We could stop at episode 441 if we
Is
wanted.
the juice worth the squeeze? We will discover in our 9th year.
Yeah. So far,
No.
not looking good. All right. That's it for another episode. If you would like to write into us, you can do so. Reddit podcast, READIT podcast at gmail.com. You can also reach us at our subreddit or the Discord. The link is in the show notes. Also, the link to the podcast, Cambo. What is it? What's it called?
It was called the Superhero Fantasy Showdown.
Ooh, Battle podcast.
Battle.
That was good. You can find it there. Give it a listen for old Zachy. And that's it. So thanks for listening, and we will read you later.